Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We are going to talk about XRP, and once again, this is the 1 hour chart. We're sitting here just above 62 cents. Earlier today, we had this massive red candle show up that brought us all the way down to 58 cents. And right away, people got very upset about that. We had some nice upward movement right before that happened. And people are now calling price manipulation and suppression once again. Today is the most frustrated I've seen retail investors since I followed OpenCoin Ripple Labs Inc. and Ripple's XRP. The manipulation and suppression is unlike any other asset. So do you think the price is being suppressed, or do you think someone just sold off a lot of XRP to create that massive red candle? You know, I've been holding XRP for a very long time. I made it through this right here. This is December 2020, right before Christmas, this happened. And a lot of us bought the bottom when that happened. And most of us have been holding ever since. Newer people to XRP, they didn't see this back then. But this was a very horrible time. And most people back then sold, and they never came back to crypto. Other people held through it. And that's going to continue to happen with XRP. You know, everybody talks about this coin moving and that coin moving, but XRP isn't moving right now. You got to remember, XRP moves last, but when it moves very fast, and it has the highest returns. Look what happened back in 2017 to 2018. That's what we're all waiting for. Now, this comes from Crypto Eddie, getting very close. Valor Funds recently rebalanced their digital asset basket of top 10 with XRP weighted at 10.23%. On November 23rd, they announced plans to launch a new XRP traded fund physically backed 1-to-1 with XRP in early December. I'm still waiting to see what kind of value comes from that. Now, Brian Brooks, he's an advisor to Valor Capital, and this is what he had to say about the U.S. dollar.
The biggest issue that I always try and focus on is cryptocurrencies are really not about currency. And the biggest misunderstanding of this whole discussion is the belief that if crypto is not doing a great job of replacing the U.S. dollar, then crypto is failing in its mission. And what I think we'll talk about a little bit today is the idea that most of crypto is about replacing the centralized banking system with networks that allow user control versus bank CEO control. The crypto assets that have prices are more like internet stocks. It's more like you bet on Google if you think there's going to be high internet traffic, and you short Google if you think people are going to go back to the post office, right? But it's not that Ethereum or Ripple or anything else is trying to replace the US dollar. It's trying to replace a system of transmitting value. And we'll talk a lot more about that. So for me, the prices are not that relevant any more than Google's volatility is. And in the early days of Google, that was super volatile.
He doesn't think the price right now is relevant. And what's really going on, you got to remember, Ripple is going after the SWIFT system. That SWIFT system has been in place for 50 years. People are used to that system. So it takes a little bit of convincing to come over to a new network, a new way of, sending money cross borders. And that takes time to build out and grow. And I think we're early, we're lucky, and we're watching it all happen in real time right now. And that's why patience is key when holding XRP. Standard Chartered backed Zodia Custody joins Ripple partner Mateko. Zodia Custody, a cryptocurrency storage provider backed by Standard Chartered, is joining Ripple-owned custody specialist Mateko Network, which is designed to handle the safekeeping and settlement of digital assets for institutions around the world, the firm said on Monday. As this infrastructure component gradually evolves to reassemble the ways things are done in traditional finance, different types of networks will appear, said Zodia Custody CEO Julian Sawyer. Examples include the Copper Clear Loop system, which recently joined forces with BitGo's Go network, or the self-custody off-exchange systems created by Fireblocks. Zodia itself offers an interchange network. Remember, they said custody is going to be the next big thing in crypto. You know, we've been in crypto so long, we watched the first thing, cross-border payments. Ripple's already running the rails for that right now. Then tokenization became all the talk all of a sudden. Then we've seen carbon offsets being talked about, AI being talked about. Now it's custody. But custody is very big because these financial institutions need somewhere to store their digital assets. Zodia Custody, the new payment disbursement platform for Stellar since September 2023. Stellar is thus indirectly connected to Ripple via Zodia and Mateko. So again, XLM and XRP coming together. You know, every one of these cryptocurrencies are going to work with other cryptocurrencies inside that new financial system. People always seem to forget that. They think that they're fighting each other somehow when they're not. They're working parallel to each other. If we have blockchain-based title management of ownership of who owns which property, arguably title insurance would change dramatically. Take a listen to what Brad says here.
I think it applies to government services. I met today with the Prime Minister of a country, and they're very excited about using blockchain for land registry. Think about the title insurance business.
So inefficient.
Big intermediary, and they take a lot of value. If we had...
You hear what Brad said there? They take a lot of value going after all the money.
Blockchain-based title management of ownership of who owns which property, arguably title insurance would change dramatically. That's a big industry to think about. Again, for YPRs to think out into the horizon about what these technologies mean. And frankly, it's one of the reasons why I compare blockchain to the early days of the internet. I had the good fortune of coming out of business school in '97 as the internet was kind of, as we know it today, being birthed. Remember, 2001, 2002 was a really difficult, dark time in the internet space. I think the same thing applies in the blockchain world. You're seeing the birth of an industry that I think is going to have broad implications beyond just cross-border payments. And yes, you're going to see crypto winters as we're experiencing. But don't forget, Amazon almost went out of business in 2001.
Take notice how Brad said Amazon almost went out of business in 2001. Look where Amazon is today. Blockchain is being treated the same way right now. We have crypto winners. We're in one of the worst ones we have ever experienced. But yet companies like Ripple continue to build out and grow at the worst possible time. If you're holding a crypto that had no movement, no growth around it, all during this entire crypto winter, you're in the wrong cryptocurrency. You got to get your investment out of there. Get it into the cryptocurrencies that had non-stop growth. Ripple is one of them. Jim Cramer says, buy Bitcoin, but stay away from altcoins. Well, it looks like it's time to go all in on altcoins. You know, whatever Jim Cramer says, expect the opposite. The takeoff phase of crypto adoption will happen between early majority and late majority phases. Crypto usage is growing faster than the internet or mobile global adoption. And this is where we are right here. And we're still waiting for the boom to happen. We're still waiting for that mass adoption to happen. You know, again, you're very early and you're very lucky. Because once mass adoption happens, all of a sudden, crypto is going to skyrocket. A lot of people are going to be priced out. The people that you're talking to now about bringing them into XRP, they will be priced out of XRP, or they're going to be paying a very high price for XRP. You know, everything looks dark right now, but eventually the sun will shine again. And that's why it's so important to stay patient. Keep positive during a time like this. Don't fall for the FUD that travels around the crypto space. Oh, that's it. XRP is manipulated. Get out of XRP right now. Because if you do that, you will be left with nothing but regret later. And all of a sudden, it looks like the mainstream media news loves crypto again. Remember what I told you? Once Bitcoin crossed 40K, it's going to be talked about everywhere. Just now, the Clamming Countdown with CV Payne. They're seeing the train leave the station and they don't want to be left behind. BlackRock doesn't lose. Bitcoin surges. Crypto rally gains steam. Bloomberg predicts fresh crypto supercycle will push Bitcoin to $500,000. Now this I look at as a red flag. You know, when they're making these big predictions, they want to get as many retail investors invested while they still can. Then all of a sudden, they're going to dump on retail. This has happened in the past. Listen, proof of work doesn't work. Take a listen to this.
Proof of work doesn't work. Proof of work doesn't work. It's been widely.
Ryan, proof of work's been working.
Let me finish.
Let
proof of work doesn't work.
Let him finish, please.
And in the early days of Bitcoin, there was a whole group of developers that broke off to create other assets, XRP being one of them, that doesn't use mining, that's cheaper from an energy perspective than Visa, and already scales to 1,500 transactions a second. A lot of these problems have already been solved. The challenge for adoption comes back to policy. The policy uncertainty around some of the assets has limited adoption, particularly here in the US. And I'm speaking from Ripple and XRP because we use that asset because it's a half a cent per payment. It's basically free. It scales and it's efficient. So 1,500 transactions a second at nearly no energy burn. So we're at a point today where there are real solutions to all of these challenges that already exist. Policy has become the challenge. And we heard on the first panel that around centralization on China, and this is going to be a hard pill for Peter to swallow. But 80% of the mining power for Bitcoin is controlled by 6 mining pools, 5 of which are in China. Today, the policy certainty in the US exists for Bitcoin and Ethereum, despite the fact those are China-controlled platforms. So activity goes to those platforms. What we need to do from a policy perspective in the US is look at the places where there are uncertainty. And one place, I'm speaking directly for me here, is XRP, where it looks like Bitcoin. It's decentralized, it's open source. We have 7% of the validation power on that, rather small in there. Grouping or giving clarity to those ones that are very similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, that have the same characteristics and should be classified the same way. And then we're creating a level playing field across all the cryptos. I'm not anti-Bitcoin or anti-Ethereum by any means. I think there's a lot of great potential and breakthrough there. But we need to have a level playing field so the market...
Did you hear how he said level playing field? And that is going to come with regulations. We're going to see 99% of crypto go to zero, while we're left with a handful of cryptocurrencies. At that point, all the money is going to sit in that handful of cryptocurrencies. You're not going to be having people going off and chasing meme coins anymore. They're going to be invested in utility now. And a lot of people know that Bitcoin doesn't work. And I think Flare could somehow fix Bitcoin a little bit through the F assets. And I talked about that in a previous video. Bitcoin's not going to be gone forever. It's going to still be with us. It's just not going to have the bulk of the money sitting in it like it does now. Even BlackRock, there's already talk of them shifting over to XRP, shifting over to utility. We've seen their vice president mention utility in the past. They know what the future is. But, you know, when you want to get the mainstream involved in crypto, what do you talk about? When you want to get all the people that aren't in crypto yet into crypto, what do you talk to them about? You as an XRP holder want to talk to them about utility and use case. But when you're a company like BlackRock, you want to talk to them about Bitcoin because that's all they know is Bitcoin. It's all over the mainstream media news all the time. And like I said, I don't think it's really going to be as relevant as it is today in the future once utility takes over this market. But that's how you get people in. That leads to mass adoption. The problem I see with that is retail always gets the shitty end of the stick. In other words, when the big corporations get retail in, eventually they dump on them time and time again. And I could see that happening through BlackRock in the future. But take notice how he said proof of work doesn't work, and we already have a new solution, Ripple and XRP. That's why I said, whenever the skies look dark, remember, eventually the sun will shine again. And that's why you gotta be holding XRP at all times. Because eventually that green candle's gonna show up, and it's gonna leave a lot of people behind. You don't want to be one of those people. Stay patient, stay positive, let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.